You know, I've been trying to do this and today. Unbutton her top a little bit more. No, hey. I don't see nothing. I'm getting out of there. I don't want to talk to you. Don't come to me. I'm buttoning your shirt talking about getting no overtime. You get nothing. You get nothing from me. This is why you got to be careful who you elect because most people are fallible, even for a 51-year-old Conthesia. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to continue on with the show. I'm just going to give it to you the real.
I know data engineers making 500 grand a year, and so if you're in tech and you are a U.S. citizen, click on the link below because I'm going to show you exactly how you can go from making 80, 100, 120 grand a year in a data role to potentially becoming a senior data analyst, a data engineer, a senior data engineer, and making 50, 100, 150% more than what you're currently doing by switching to a big tech company. So again, you have to be in tech, you have to be a U.S. citizen born in the U.S., and you have to want to actually enter into a better data role, not just staying at the same company.
Stay on top of this. Biden could use 37 death sentences. Yeah, I read about that. The H is silent, but the 304s never are. Yeah. So, H, you've been giving us wrong information. You said real estate was the fastest way to become rich. Apparently, it's the recession. No, real estate is the best way to preserve wealth. The fastest way to get to a bag is to be a woman with no dirt butt down here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta have life hack. PBR says, idea she retired regular, she gets 12,000 monthly. If she does disability, she gets 19,000. Fam, not including the social security checks. That's 12,000 a year. She gonna miss it. Defined as box, proxy box. Defined as box being paid for the taxpayer. Man, that's crazy. High Tolerance says apparently she was a cancer survivor and perhaps leveraged that into a death duty. Still, ain't no. I don't listen. I don't care what kind of survival you done. I survived growing up in the hood. Well, I deserve. Quiet. Let me be quiet. Case Barnes in the building. That's my dog, Case Barnes. 80 in his east. In my year plus listen to AD. One of the many things he speaks about when he does stories like this, AD always says characterism. It is listen. It is vital. It is imperative. It is so important. Pizza coming through, and you gonna mess up your whole life because you did not pray for character. You was busting it down for a real one. That's a fact. Mob the police for a real one. That's a fact. Jay Ben says, "Oh wait, that's that older woman we like. That's that I like. Look at that neck. Her straps tell me the suction in that neck." This is Millionaire Morning Show. What y'all got going on? That Jada Fade is diabolical debauchery, though. Looks and performance rarely intersect lip service. Shout out to my dog. According to my sources, Missy have stopped the activities. He started investigating her OT. Oh, so you can't stop now. You can't stop now. My sources also said he did it. Quantisha sounded like Felicia from Friday. I only need that overtime for campaign day. On LA23 says, supporting AB Missy couple shows. My bad. Been so busy. I celebrated my birthday this past Saturday. It was great. But so thankful for another year with the family. Happy birthday to everybody that got a birthday in December and is looking forward to those January birthdays. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap the Patreon links in the description as well as spin to the top of the chat. All right, y'all. Let's move over. Hakeem. This Hakeem. You will soil my rope. Ah, where did you go? Hey, didn't Denzel Jones pass away? He was the voice for Mufasa. He was the voice for Mufasa, wasn't he? Man, I miss Denzel. Wow, Prince Hakeem. Um, Hakeem Jeffries, I like to call. Hey, somebody time out Almighty Suspect. Somebody time out Almighty Suspect because the one thing that we not gonna do, or two things is for certain. I don't know if you time him out or block. Just time him out for now. Let's see if he's on the list. Prince Hakeem, who I like to call the fake Obama, is now a little bit bitter along with the rest of the Democrats in what happened during the spending bills. They didn't get their 40% raises. They couldn't push through all of their agenda-laden prospectus inside of the spending bill, and they're mad at Elon Musk and Trump as a result of it. All right? So Hakeem is now saying that the Democrats are not going to save Republicans, including Mike Johnson, and they need them. Check it out.
Hello, Leader Jeffries. Great to see you. I just wanted to start by asking you. I just gave my take on what a chaotic, hectic week this was, where Democrats essentially saved the day. But what did you learn from this week?
Well, it was important for the American people to see the beginnings of what is going to take place over the next 2 to 4 years, which is chaos, dysfunction, and extremism, and a Republican Party that is not really interested in helping out working class Americans, but is really determined to enact massive tax cuts for the wealthy, the well-off, and well-connected corporations. That was the centerpiece of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's demand with respect to recklessly trying to suspend the debt ceiling and secure a $4 to $5 trillion blank check. Thankfully, we stopped that from happening.
Oh, so it was the Democrats that stopped it from happening. Wait. Now, my memory could be a little bit foggy. If it serves me correctly, Plan A, which was unilaterally rejected by the Trump administration, which obviously we don't even see Biden or Kamala Harris anywhere to be seen whatsoever, so we don't even know what their opinion is. They just MIA, disappeared. Out giving speeches trying to get some more donor money to cover for that Kamala Harris blunder that we seen last November. Right? But what you guys voted in, which included giving yourself a 40% raise to the tune of $70,000 per year, was that bipartisan agreement that you guys had all agreed on and voted on to also include a stadium and taxpayer dollars used for things that we absolutely do not agree with. And Trump is the one that killed that spending bill. Now, we know that people like Hakeem Jeffries like to revamp and redo things to make it seem like, oh my God, we the one that did this, we the one that got things together. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. This is why Hakeem Jeffries, they say he's in line to replace Nancy Pelosi. They say that Hakeem Jeffries is in line to be one of the most powerful Democrats inside of Congress to replace Nancy Pelosi. But as of what I see right now, all I see is lies.
It's been quite a week, and one of the things I talked about a bit here, Leader Jeffries, is that Elon Musk, we saw Elon Musk take kind of a powerful role in his power over the Republican caucus. That surprised me, I guess. Maybe it shouldn't have. Did anything about how he wielded his power surprise you?
Well, many people throughout the Capitol are saying that he has perhaps emerged as the leader of the Republican Party moving forward. And we'll have to see how that plays itself out over the next few weeks, next few months, and next few years. As House Democrats, our position is simple. There are three things that we should all be focused on in connection with the American people. First, lowering costs. Second, bigger paychecks for hardworking American taxpayers. And third, securing safer communities. That's going to be our North.
What is Hakeem talking about? This is the party of defund the police. This is the party that supports illegal migration into these blue cities. This is the party of war. Do they just, honest to God, and I'm genuinely wondering this, do they just say stuff? Or is the Democrats going through a rebrand? And they don't know that we know what they were saying during the campaign season or what they did over the last 4.5 years. What is he talking about? How is the Democratic Party any of these things that he said when they are the ones that literally are doing some of the worst things and trying to remove funding from everything that keeps your community safe? This is insane.
Start moving forward, and we'll see whether the incoming administration is prepared to join us on behalf of the American people.
It's on you.
I know there were some, I listed a number of them, pieces that were in this bipartisan agreement that were stripped out of the bill before it went to the Senate. Some of them were saved in the Senate. But because of this whole chaos of this week, there has been questions about whether Mike Johnson is at risk of not being the Speaker of the House in a couple of weeks. What do you think?
I think that's a real risk, and there will be no Democrats available to save him or the extreme MAGA Republicans from themselves based on the breaching of a bipartisan agreement that reflected priorities that were good. We're going to have to continue to work on several of those as we move forward, including plussing up resources for community health centers, which is a bipartisan priority that Republicans walked away from, even though it benefits people in urban America, rural America, small town America, land of America, as well as Appalachia. But we'll have the ability to wage those battles over the next few weeks and the next few months, given that this is only a short-term continuing resolution that will expire on March 14th.
And that means that vote, just for everybody paying attention at home, is going to come up again. There's going to be a need to raise the debt limit to keep the government funding. I just listed how there were 170 Republicans, or 100 more than that, who voted for this bill, even though Trump was threatening primary opponents. Do you think, you've been through this before, you were in the minority the last time, not in as powerful a position, do you think he's lost a hold on the caucus that he had before?
That's an open question that will be very interesting, but that certainly is one of the narratives that perhaps has emerged.
In a controversial new bill that just passed, all 50 states approved $710 back for U.S. drivers with no DUIs. You just have to enter your zip code to claim the benefit. Tap the link below to see if you qualify. If you're paying more than $50 a month on car insurance, then you're missing out on serious cash by not checking this out. Tap the link below now while it's still available. It's completely free to check if you qualify and literally takes about 60 seconds. So tap below and take 60 seconds to check.
Let's see, bud.
Alone.
Is there anything from navigating being in the minority during a first term that you're applying now as leader of the caucus?
It's important for us to stay calm, stay present at all times, because the margin is going to be extremely narrow during the first 100 days of the new administration. The margins will be about 217 Republicans and 215 Democrats. Even at full strength, House Republicans will be at 220, will be at 215. That's the narrowest majority of any party since 1931. And so we've got to stay calm through all of the turbulence that the Republicans are going to try to visit on the American people in order to defend hardworking American taxpayers. We have to be present and in Washington to make sure that our leverage can shine through on behalf of the American people. And we, of course, have to stay unified in fighting for the things that matter, which first and foremost is to lower costs for everyday Americans, for working class Americans, and for middle class Americans.
Right. Over here.
I don't trust Hakeem Jeffries even a little bit. You know, one thing that Obama had, Obama always had the ability to communicate. Like, he was kind of a lot more smooth, chill, vibing, all that stuff. Hakeem Jeffries, he's like a robot. He's almost like the Manchurian Man, but without the suaveness. He's like an AI robot. He lies. He doesn't give any real context to what he's saying. He just speaks in generalities all the time. make
Right,
wild threats and say what they ain't gonna do. Y'all need to get in there and do y'all job.
I'm bad.
Y'all
I'm
need to
bad,
get in
Pop.
there and do your job. He just says a whole lot without saying anything. I never liked Hakeem Jeffries. He was never our guy. He never seemed like the type of person that you could trust to do anything to take care of business. And all he's doing is pivot so that he can create more visibility for himself and become more popular. I see that happen to Hakeem Jeffries. I see Jasmine Crockett pop up every other day on MSNBC. And she's always
Hey,
spewing a
come one.
narrative about
Hey,
how she
come
doesn't agree
one.
with Trump and how she doesn't agree with Elon Musk. And I started to react to a video that you guys sent me of Jasmine Crockett. But Jasmine Crockett needs to atone for and account for all of the stuff that she promoted under the Kamala Harris regime and how he supported her to become president of the United States of America. You know, I'm so thankful. I've seen a conversation today on a stage, and he was talking about how beneficial it
Get your
was.
ass out of there,
And
Chuck.
I'll probably quote this maybe tomorrow, or maybe on the internet. But he was talking about how beneficial it was for the American people to actually not get Trump in 2020 because we didn't appreciate it. We didn't appreciate the false cutting. We didn't appreciate you standing up for the American people. We didn't appreciate. We were seriously just complaining about the fact that hurricane victims was not getting the help and the assistance that they desperately needed from this administration that's currently in office. For some reason, everybody is literally forgetting that we still have Kamala Harris
Going to get
behind
my
office.
wheels.
And one of the things that was very, very, very important to bring out, which I thought that Trump and JD Vance did beautifully, is they would often ask Kamala Harris, why aren't y'all doing something right now if this is what you want to do? You've had 3.5 years, almost 4 years, to save the middle class and lower cost of living and raise wages and take care of business and solve our crisis when it came to the immigration issues and, you know, to rein in the trade deficit and fix what's going on with all these wars with Russia and Ukraine and Taiwan and China and our international relations. You guys have had all of this time to take care of business, and you're already criticizing Trump and he hasn't taken office yet. You're already criticizing our current president, and he hasn't even taken office yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. Up next, we got Brandon Johnson. We'll bring him back to the front of the congregation because Brandon Johnson is just flat out just Chicago mayor. The missus says, what up, no? Shout out to the missus.
I just got to switch.
Kelly Hill. Shout out to Kelly says, hello, good afternoon. Love the show. I love you too. A couple from Death Note. That's the name. Probably
That's
want to
right.
check it. Congress has the most millionaires, but they say one side is bad.
Come on,
You're going to forget the insider trading.
Oh, you good.
Death Note also says people should vote on their bread locally. Chase Barnes says, once again, my mind.
They're legally robbing you, and it's happening every time you pay for the car insurance. Here's the deal. A big chunk of your money.
Dude, Hakeem doesn't understand, man. I'm really on a roll. 80 lessons I've been taught. That's just I got to continue for that. I got to continue to give y'all the game. I got to continue to put that in y'all. I also want to acknowledge the Cash App. Acknowledge my Cash App. Shout out to Rand Wilson. Remember what you said about older? So Ed Key, some older women in are rich. They willing to do it all.
You good.
Older women, they have no pride. We're going to get there. We're going to get there on Q Show tonight.
Right here.
Like the Alpha Traffic Channel and selling notifications. We got to go and bring Brandon Johnson in front of the time. So give me a second. Brandon, come on down to the price is right. Come on down to the price is right. This is what they say Brandon got going on.
Far-left mayor Brandon Johnson facing calls to resign comes after the city's public schools CEO was fired Friday after he refused to take out a $300 million loan for a new teachers union contract. That is the same union that once employed Mayor Johnson. Arguing it is time for Johnson to resign, saying this, quote, "You have demonstrated you are not a mayor for all of Chicago, but only for your friends at the Chicago Teachers Union. You are willing to use your power to benefit those closest to you while using the children you say you care about as political cover for your disastrous decision-making." Our next guest says this loan was all about Johnson's push to help illegal migrants, already costing his own taxpayers more than $500 million. That's with the B, $billion.
So Brandon Johnson, right after they,
I got you.
and see, it makes me wonder, what exactly
Come on, boy, get in.
are they looking to do? What exactly what this budget was all about?
I got you.
One of the things that Chicago Red and Chicago Blue Red
Flip
has
it
been
over.
saying since the beginning of time is one of the reasons why we're trying to push tax raises and these egregious budget through over in Chicago, which they narrowly did. One of the reasons that they're trying to push this through is because
In the house, in the house,
they've
in the
been
house.
funding a migrant crisis. They've been funding a migrant crisis over in New York. They're not doing this because they're doing it for the people. They're doing this because they need extra funding for the migrant crisis. So this is the estimated cost of what they've already spent on migrant crisis. From August 2022 through October of 2024. In 2 years, they've spent almost 300 estimated. Say that again. Estimated to have spent almost $300 million per year. I will tell you that that number is categorically false. It is
Oh, they're in the
100%.
water fighting, partner.
It is 100% off. They've spent significantly more money. And not only have they spent significantly more money, we're not even accounting for the things that you pay for every single day that they have access to that should be categorized as
102.
migrant spending. When you go to work every day, right?
Now it's
Those of
1-on-1.
y'all that work in tech or you work in corporate America and you have budgets,
Yeah, you have
most of the time, even if you are a salaried employee, you still have to fill out timesheets. The reason that you got to fill out timesheets is because the company has to figure out how much money that they're putting aside for your department. When they're doing their yearly budget, over this side of the Patreon, and we're going to tie this back to your own personal finances. So make sure y'all tap the Patreon link in the description.
Got from behind him, partner.
Amount of money for the budget. The only way that they're able to do that is by
Got him, partner. Come
what
on.
is being billed to the company. So if you have 10 workers, let's just give a round number, making $200,000 a year each, then that means that those 10 workers tend to cost $2 million a year. Now the company got to go, they got to evaluate, hey, okay, is this department actually a value add? Need them? Do they need that much of a budget? Do they have any contractors outside of regular employees? You know, what projects do they have going on? So on and so forth.
Let's
They
go.
break down the budget. They
Let's
project,
go.
break down the budget based off of how much they think that they're going to bring in revenue, and then that's how they determine what department is valuable, who needs to be laid off. If they then go through a law or whether they should have, you know, a boosting